My math teacher thought my constant questions were undermining her authority. From now on, Timmy, Ms. Crabtree announced, her voice dripping with saccharine sweetness that masked pure venom, I don't want you to ask any questions in class. None. Zero. Understood? I nodded, a slight smile tugging at the corner of my mouth. Challenge accepted. The next day, Ms. Crabtree launched into a particularly convoluted explanation of quadratic equations. About halfway through, she scribbled a formula on the board that was demonstrably incorrect. I knew it. Everyone else was struggling to keep up, blindly copying her mistake. Following her instructions to the letter, I said nothing. I didn't raise my hand. I didn't whisper to my neighbor. I just sat there. And then, chaos ensued. One by one, students began to realize their answers weren't matching the textbook. Confusion rippled through the room. Murmurs started to escalate into frustrated groans. Ms. Crabtree, a brave soul, finally piped up, I think there might be a mistake in the formula. Nonsense. She snapped, puffing up like a threatened blowfish. I'm a highly qualified mathematician. My calculations are always accurate. The student, intimidated, retreated back into his seat, still baffled. More students voiced their struggles, but Ms. Crabtree insisted they were simply applying the formula incorrectly. The more she dug in her heels, the more frustrated the class became. The bell rang, releasing the students from their mathematical torment. But the damage was done. Everyone had the wrong formula. Everyone would be doing their homework based on a fundamental error. The next day, Ms. Crabtree arrived to a chorus of complaints. Homework assignments were a mess. No one could understand the material. Tempers were flaring. Obviously, as she huffed, you all need to pay closer attention. I explained everything perfectly. She then proceeded to re-explain the same incorrect formula, doubling down on her mistake. The class descended into utter pandemonium. Students were openly arguing, questioning her methods, and generally creating a rebellious atmosphere that would have made a punk rocker proud. Finally, near the end of the period, a student found the correct formula online. She sheepishly presented it to Ms. Crabtree, who, after a brief, horrified silence, admitted her error. Well, as she stammered, face redder than a baboon's backside, perhaps I was a little hasty. But that doesn't excuse your behavior yesterday. Timmy, stay after class. When everyone else had left, she glared at me. I know this is your fault. You knew I was wrong and you deliberately let everyone suffer. But Miss Crabtree, I said, feigning innocence, you told me I wasn't allowed to ask any questions. She sputtered, searching for a comeback. Finding none, she simply dismissed me with a wave of her hand. Just, get out. From that day on, she never told me to stop asking questions again. In fact, she seemed almost grateful whenever I pointed out a potential issue, even if it did slightly undermine her authority.